Ever notice how life has a knack for resolving itself when you ease your grip on desired outcomes? That moment of surrender often precedes unexpected alignment. Perhaps a lost opportunity paved the way for something superior, or heartbreak yielded unforeseen inner strength. Ancient wisdom, particularly from the Stoic school of thought, recognized this inherent rhythm of existence, a flow that can be navigated but not forced. They understood that a deep-seated trust, both in the universe and in oneself, is a powerful catalyst. This exploration delves into these timeless principles, suggesting that humility attracts unexpected rewards, while clinging to control often breeds more challenges. Though life's path may not always align with our desires, it invariably presents what we need for growth. Even the most virtuous encounter adversity, yet those who persevere with faith often emerge stronger. If these ideas resonate with you and you'd like to explore more about living with Stoic principles, consider subscribing to the Stoic Code channel for ongoing insights. Join us as we unpack this perspective, drawing from the wellspring of Stoic thought, to understand how embracing fate, cultivating humility, and practicing patience can lead to a more tranquil and resilient existence. This isn't just abstract theory. It's a practical approach to navigating the complexities of life with greater peace and understanding. Let's embark on this journey together. Chapter 1. Riding the River of Reality, the Nature of Fate and the Flow of Life. Imagine standing at the edge of a powerful river. Its currents swirl and surge, carving paths through the landscape with relentless force. You could choose to fight it, thrashing against the inexorable flow, expending all your energy in a futile attempt to dictate its course. Every bend, every rapid would be met with resistance, leaving you exhausted and likely swept away regardless. This, in essence, is how many of us approach life. We cling fiercely to our plans, our expectations, our desired outcomes, battling against the inevitable shifts and turns that life throws our way. We become prisoners of our own rigid desires, creating internal turmoil with every deviation from our carefully constructed blueprints. But what if there's another way? What if, instead of fighting, we learn to navigate, to understand the river's inherent power and adapt to its rhythm? This is the essence of the Stoic understanding of fate. It's not about a predetermined, unchangeable script etched in the cosmos. Instead, it's about recognizing the natural order of things, the interconnected web of cause and effect that shapes our experiences. Trying to control every external event is like trying to stop the river with your bare hands, a recipe for frustration and suffering. The Stoics weren't advocating for passive resignation. They weren't suggesting we simply lie down and let life wash over us. Instead, they championed a dynamic engagement with reality. Think of a skilled kayaker. They don't try to stop the rapids. They learn to read the currents, to use their paddle with intention, to maneuver through the challenges with skill and grace. Similarly in life, we must act. We must make choices, but we must do so with an understanding that the ultimate outcomes often lie beyond our direct control. Consider a time when things went spectacularly sideways in your life. A job loss you thought would cripple you led to an even more fulfilling career. A relationship ending in heartbreak ultimately paved the way for a deeper connection. Looking back, can you see the unseen hand of circumstance guiding you even through the storm? The Stoics believed that even in adversity there's a hidden curriculum, a lesson waiting to be learned, a strength waiting to be forged. It's about shifting our perspective from "why is this happening to me?" to "what can I learn and how can I grow through this?" Embracing this flow doesn't mean abandoning our goals, but rather holding them with a lighter grip, remaining adaptable and open to the unexpected possibilities that emerge when we stop resisting the river of reality. It's about trusting the journey, even when the destination is unclear, knowing that the current, though sometimes turbulent, is ultimately carrying us somewhere. Chapter 2. The quiet earthquake of humility, the power of humility. Picture a towering skyscraper, its peak piercing the clouds, seemingly invincible. Yet the higher it soars, the more susceptible it becomes to the fiercest winds. Now, imagine a deeply rooted oak tree, weathering storms for centuries. Its strength lies not in its height, but in its expansive, unseen root system, anchoring it firmly to the earth. This is the profound power of humility, a force that often gets mistaken for weakness, but is in fact the bedrock of true strength and enduring reward. The Stoics understood that genuine wisdom and power don't need a megaphone. The truly accomplished don't feel the urge to constantly broadcast their achievements or seek validation from the external world. Their security emanates from within, a quiet confidence built on self-awareness and a realistic understanding of their place in the grand scheme of things. The more someone trumpets their own greatness, the more likely it is that their foundation is shaky, built on the shifting sands of external approval. Humility isn't about self-deprecation or denying your capabilities. It's about acknowledging the vastness of what you don't know and maintaining a perpetual student's mindset. As the philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, it's impossible to learn what you think you already know. Pride acts as a formidable barrier to growth, blinding us to new perspectives and making us resistant to correction. The Stoics recognized that true strength lies in the willingness to be wrong, to learn from our mistakes, and to accept life's lessons as they come, without the shield of ego. Think about the most influential figures in history. Often their impact stemmed not from boastful pronouncements, but from quiet, consistent action and a genuine focus on serving something larger than themselves. They led by example, their actions speaking volumes where words might have fallen short. Humility allows us to see ourselves with clarity, acknowledging both our strengths and our flaws. This self-awareness isn't a source of shame, but a catalyst for growth. It empowers us to work on our shortcomings and strive to become better versions of ourselves each day. The rewards of humility aren't always immediate or obvious. They often manifest in subtle yet profound ways: deeper connections with others, unexpected opportunities arising from a reputation for sincerity, and an inner peace that comes from not needing external validation. The Stoics believed that energy is cyclical. What you project into the world tends to return. Genuine kindness and a humble spirit often attract reciprocal goodwill, creating a positive feedback loop that enriches your life in unforeseen ways. Even in challenging times, humility keeps us open and adaptable, allowing us to recognize opportunities that pride might have obscured. A person who lifts others up creates their own support network. A person who listens more than they speak gains wisdom beyond measure. The quiet earthquake of humility subtly reshapes your world for the better, building a resilience that external praise can never provide. Chapter 3. The Unwavering Marathon Runner, the role of patience and perseverance. Life, the Stoics knew intimately, is not a sprint, it's a marathon, often run uphill and against a relentless headwind. The path to virtue and a life of meaning is rarely smooth or easy. Believing that being a good person somehow grants immunity from struggle is a dangerous illusion. Even the most principled individuals will face storms, setbacks, disappointments, and moments that test the very limits of their endurance. However, the Stoics also held an unwavering conviction that perseverance, coupled with a deep-seated trust in the journey, inevitably leads to the other side, stronger, wiser, and with a profound sense of inner peace. Seneca, a guiding light of Stoicism, aptly stated that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Every hardship, every stumble, is not a sign of failure, but an opportunity to cultivate resilience, to dig deeper into our reserves of inner fortitude. Those who maintain their belief in themselves and the process, who refuse to surrender to despair no matter how dark the night, will invariably find their way through to the dawn. Challenges aren't sent to shatter us, they arrive to shape us, like a sculptor chiseling away at a raw block of marble to reveal the masterpiece within. Think of a fire tested by a fierce wind. A weak flame will flicker and die, but a strong fire will intensify, burning hotter and brighter. The same principle applies to our inner spirit. The seemingly unbearable moments, the trials that stretch our patience to its breaking point, are the very crucibles in which our character is refined and our strength is forged. Faith, in this Stoic context, isn't about blind optimism or a naive belief that everything will magically work out. It's a grounded knowing that even when the path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty, there is always a way forward. It's the unwavering conviction that no matter how long the night, the sun will eventually rise. The storm, however violent, will eventually pass. And as long as we keep putting one foot in front of the other, refusing to succumb to the paralysis of despair, we will ultimately emerge victorious. This faith isn't passive. It's an active commitment to the process. It's the resolute decision to trust in our ability to navigate the challenges and to continue moving forward even when the destination is unclear. It's understanding that setbacks are temporary detours, that hardship is a demanding but invaluable teacher, and that every obstacle carries within it the potential for profound growth. Patience is an integral part of this faith. It's the understanding that life unfolds at its own rhythm, that progress isn't always linear or immediately visible, like the roots of a tree expanding beneath the surface before new branches reach for the sky. Our inner development often occurs in unseen ways before its effects become apparent. So, when you find yourself struggling, remember this: every obstacle holds the seeds of opportunity. Every moment of difficulty is a chance to demonstrate your resilience. The Stoics understood that true defeat only occurs when we surrender to despair. Take that next step, no matter how small it seems. Trust that even if the way forward isn't clear now, it will reveal itself in time. The future holds possibilities beyond our current perception, and the trials we face today may be preparing us for something far greater than we can currently imagine. The struggles you endure now might be forging you into the very person who will one day look back with gratitude, recognizing that what once felt like insurmountable setbacks were, in fact, essential stepping stones on your path. In time, what feels unbearable can become the bedrock of your strength, and the faith you held on to will be the unwavering force that carried you through. But remember, faith without action is just a wish. It's the unwavering belief that the effort you invest today will bear fruit, even if the harvest isn't immediately visible. It's waking up each morning with the resolve to move forward, to face whatever comes, trusting that each day, even the difficult ones, is leading you toward something meaningful. Chapter 4. Sculpting Reality with Belief. The Power of Faith in Shaping Reality. If we accept that faith isn't merely a rosy-eyed optimism, but a dynamic trust in the unfolding narrative of existence, then we must also acknowledge its profound power to shape the very reality we experience. The Stoics held a firm belief that our perceptions and the beliefs we harbor within our minds act as powerful filters, dictating how we interpret and interact with the world around us. As the insightful Marcus Aurelius penned, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This isn't some New Age affirmation, it's a fundamental principle of how our minds construct our subjective experience. Consider this: If your inner landscape is dominated by fear, doubt, and incessant worry, you will inevitably perceive the external world through this distorted lens. Every challenge will appear insurmountable, every interaction potentially threatening. You'll be constantly scanning for danger, bracing for the worst, and in doing so, you inadvertently create a reality that mirrors your internal anxieties. It's like wearing tinted glasses. Everything you see will be colored by the shade of your lenses, regardless of the actual hues present. Conversely, if you actively cultivate faith, belief in your own resilience, and trust in the inherent order of things, you begin to align yourself with a more constructive and potentially positive flow of existence. This doesn't mean ignoring genuine threats or becoming naively optimistic. Instead, it's about fostering a fundamental understanding that even amidst uncertainty, you are being guided, that challenges hold the potential for growth, and that your own capacity to navigate difficulties is far greater than you might currently believe. Think back to those moments in your life when you vehemently resisted a change, a new job, a relocation, the ending of a relationship, only to later realize that this very disruption propelled you towards something significantly better. What if, instead of expending so much energy in resistance, we leaned into a sense of faith? What if we trusted that the events unfolding now, whether joyful or seemingly painful, serve a purpose that might not be immediately apparent, but is ultimately contributing to our larger journey? The Stoics championed the practice of directing our focus solely towards what lies within our sphere of influence, our own actions, our attitudes, and our perspectives. Everything else, the opinions of others, external events, the precise timing of our successes, lies beyond our direct control. Faith, in this context, becomes a disciplined practice, a conscious choice to surrender our need to control the uncontrollable and to move forward with clarity of intention and purpose. Faith also serves as a powerful teacher of patience. It reminds us that the timing of life's unfolding is rarely in our hands. We might diligently plant seeds today, nurturing them with our efforts, yet the harvest may not arrive for months or even years. Just as a mighty oak doesn't rush its growth, patiently developing its root system before its branches reach skyward, we too must understand that significant developments in our lives often require time and a trust in the natural progression of things. The Stoics frequently drew parallels with the cycles of nature, the seamless transition of seasons, the ebb and flow of tides, all occurring without resistance or force. Why then should we expect our own lives to operate on a different principle? By cultivating faith in the process, by trusting that what is truly meant for us will arrive at the appropriate time, we liberate ourselves from the debilitating grip of unnecessary worry and stress. Furthermore, faith isn't solely about believing in external outcomes. It's also about cultivating an unwavering belief in our own inherent capacity to endure and overcome. The Stoics emphasized that true power resides within. As Seneca wisely noted, the mind that is anxious about the future is miserable. When we nurture faith, we actively replace anxiety with a sense of grounded trust. We acknowledge that while the specifics of tomorrow remain unseen, our inner strength and resilience will equip us to face whatever it may bring. When we consciously integrate faith into our daily lives, we begin to witness its transformative power. It's not about denying the existence of challenges, but about meeting them with a quiet assurance in our ability to navigate them. It's about knowing that even when the immediate reasons for our struggles are unclear, a deeper understanding will eventually emerge. Therefore, let us move through life with a profound and unwavering faith, trusting in the unseen forces at play, knowing that everything is unfolding in a way that ultimately serves our growth and evolution. Let us remind ourselves daily that our fears often hold less power than we grant them, and that faith acts as the sturdy bridge that carries us from the turbulent waters of doubt to the tranquil shores of inner peace. In the end, faith isn't just a belief, it's a powerful and transformative way of living. Chapter 5. Dancing with the Unknown, Embracing Uncertainty. One of the most persistent sources of anxiety in the human experience is the vast, uncharted territory of the unknown. We crave the illusion of certainty, meticulously planning and striving for predictable outcomes, yet the fundamental truth remains. The future is, by its very nature, uncertain. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of the human condition, recognized that waging war against this inherent uncertainty is a battle destined for defeat, a constant source of internal friction and suffering. The wise Epictetus offered a potent antidote to this struggle. Do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well. 1. This isn't a call for blind acceptance of every misfortune, but rather a shift in perspective. It's about recognizing the futility of demanding a world that conforms perfectly to our desires, and instead learning to find peace and even opportunity within the fluid, unpredictable nature of reality. Uncertainty, far from being a menacing void, is actually the fertile ground where growth takes root, where unforeseen possibilities blossom, and where we unearth strengths we never knew we possessed. Think about a time in your own life when your carefully laid plans crumbled, yet this very disruption led you down a path you never would have considered, ultimately leading to something richer or more fulfilling. How often have you discovered that the very things you initially feared turned out to be essential catalysts for your personal evolution? When we release our rigid grip on how we think things should be, we create space for something potentially far greater than our limited imagination could have conceived. Uncertainty acts as a demanding but invaluable teacher. It pushes us beyond the comfortable confines of our routines and expectations, forcing us to adapt, to think creatively, and to cultivate resilience. If every outcome were predictable, if every step of our journey were mapped out in advance, there would be no room for innovation, no impetus for self-discovery. The most remarkable individuals throughout history, the pioneers and the innovators, were those who learned to navigate the treacherous waters of the unknown with a blend of courage and insatiable curiosity. They understood that within the realm of uncertainty lies the untapped potential for extraordinary achievements. The more we learn to embrace uncertainty, the more we cultivate a deep and abiding inner peace. Instead of instinctively resisting change and the unknown, we learn to move with the natural ebbs and flows of life. Rather than succumbing to the paralyzing grip of fear, we begin to view uncertainty not as a threat, but as a gateway to transformation, a threshold leading to new experiences and unforeseen growth. Imagine standing before a vast and boundless ocean, the horizon stretching out in an enigmatic expanse. You could allow fear to paralyze you, fixated on the potential dangers lurking beneath the surface and the uncertainty of what lies beyond. Or you could choose to set sail, embracing the adventure, trusting that your skills, your adaptability, and the very winds of life will guide you to where you need to be. Those who dare to step into the unknown often discover that it is far less frightening than their initial anxieties suggested. In fact, it is often in these uncharted territories that life's most profound adventures and greatest rewards await. It's crucial to remember that our perception of uncertainty significantly shapes our experience of it. If we approach the unknown with trepidation and see it as a looming threat, we will inevitably feel overwhelmed and anxious. However, if we consciously reframe our perspective, viewing uncertainty as a realm of possibility, a canvas upon which new and exciting experiences can be painted. We open ourselves up to a world of potential that was previously hidden by our fear. The Stoics encourage us to actively reframe our thinking about the unknown. Instead of dreading what we cannot predict, we should embrace it as an inherent aspect of life, a constant invitation to grow, to learn, and to become more adaptable and resilient. Life is an ongoing series of unfolding moments, and our ability to meet each one with openness, curiosity, and a fundamental trust in our capacity to navigate whatever arises will ultimately determine the richness and depth of our experience. The key, as with so many Stoic principles, lies in trust. Trust in the process, trust in our own abilities, and trust in the inherent dynamism of life itself. The river doesn't fight its course. It flows effortlessly towards the vastness of the ocean. The seasons don't resist change. They transition in perfect harmony, each serving its vital role in the grand cycle. Why, then, should we struggle against the natural flow of our own lives, clinging to the illusion of absolute certainty in a fundamentally uncertain universe? When we surrender to uncertainty with a spirit of faith rather than fear, we allow life to work in our favor, often guiding us towards outcomes far more remarkable than we could have ever planned ourselves. We begin to recognize that what we initially perceived as setbacks or detours were, in fact, essential stepping stones on our unique and unfolding journey. In navigating the unpredictable currents of existence, the wisdom gleaned from Stoicism offers an enduring anchor. The journey we've explored underscores a profound truth. Our relentless pursuit of control often blinds us to the inherent order and unfolding beauty of life. By embracing the Stoic understanding of fate, we learn to dance with reality rather than wrestle against it, finding a deeper peace in surrendering to the natural flow. The quiet strength of humility emerges as a cornerstone of this philosophy. It's not a passive shrinking, but a grounded confidence that attracts genuine connection and unexpected rewards. By shedding the need for external validation and embracing a perpetual student's mindset, we open ourselves to continuous growth and a more authentic sense of self-worth. Furthermore, the unwavering spirit of patience and perseverance acts as our compass through life's inevitable storms. Challenges are not roadblocks, but rather the very forge that tempers our character and reveals our inner resilience. By maintaining faith in the process and refusing to yield to despair, we discover an unshakable strength that carries us through the darkest nights towards the dawn. Ultimately, the Stoics invite us to recognize the potent interplay between our inner world and our external experience. Faith in this context becomes more than just a hopeful sentiment. It's an active force that shapes our perception and, consequently, our reality. By cultivating trust and focusing on what lies within our control, our thoughts and actions, we align ourselves with a more harmonious and fulfilling existence. And finally, in embracing uncertainty, we liberate ourselves from the shackles of anxiety. Instead of fearing the unknown, we learn to see it as a realm of possibility, a catalyst for growth and discovery. By surrendering to the unpredictable nature of life with faith rather than fear, we allow ourselves to be guided towards paths we might never have imagined. In an age saturated with constant self-promotion and the relentless pursuit of external validation, a different philosophy offers a powerful alternative: finding triumph in quietude. Drawing inspiration from ancient Stoic thought, this exploration delves into the strength found in pursuing goals without fanfare, allowing genuine progress to speak volumes. It examines how resisting the urge to broadcast every step can shield your aspirations from unnecessary interference and maintain unwavering focus. This is about cultivating inner mastery, where personal growth eclipses the need for public acclaim, and the most profound victories resonate not through applause, but through the undeniable impact of quietly achieved results. If you find value in these insights, consider subscribing to the Stoic Code channel for more on this philosophy. Join us as we uncover the principles of achieving success in silence, a path where your dedication unfolds privately, ultimately inviting observers to witness the unfolding of your accomplishments from a distance. 1. The unseen ascent. Why silence is your superpower. Imagine a world where your every intention, every nascent idea is a precious, fragile seed. Broadcasting it prematurely is like planting it on a busy thoroughfare, exposed to the trampling feet of doubt, the scorching sun of unsolicited opinions, and the hungry beaks of envy. Silence, on the other hand, is the fertile, undisturbed earth where your ambitions can take root in secret, drawing strength from your unwavering focus. It's your personal fortress of solitude, where the blueprints of your success are drafted without the cacophony of external advice muddying the design. Think of the sheer, unadulterated energy you conserve when you're not constantly explaining, justifying, or defending your path. Each time you articulate a half-formed goal, you're essentially spending a fraction of the very fuel needed to propel it into reality. You're offering it up for dissection, inviting well-meaning but often misguided critiques that can subtly erode your conviction. Silence keeps that vital energy locked within you, a potent reservoir driving your actions behind the scenes. It allows you to iterate, to stumble, to learn in the privacy of your own journey without the fear of public scrutiny or the pressure of living up to premature expectations. But the power of silence extends far beyond mere energy conservation. It cultivates a delicious sense of unpredictability. In a world where everyone seems to be meticulously curating their online persona, broadcasting their every move, your quietude becomes an enigma. It keeps your competitors guessing, your detractors disarmed, and even your supporters intrigued. They can't strategize against what they don't know. Your silence becomes a cloak of invisibility, allowing you to maneuver with agility, to make unexpected leaps and bounds that leave others bewildered. It's the strategic advantage of a master strategist playing their cards close to their chest, revealing their hand only when the moment for checkmate arrives. This isn't about being secretive for the sake of it. It's about understanding that in the initial stages, your work speaks loudest when it's allowed to gestate in the quiet intensity of your dedication. Let the fruits of your labor be the grand announcement, the undeniable evidence that silences the skeptics and awes the onlookers. 2. Breaking the chains of approval, the radical act of self-validation. Consider the relentless hamster wheel of seeking external validation. Every like, every comment, every pat on the back is a fleeting sugar rush, temporarily boosting your ego, but ultimately leaving you craving more. It's a precarious foundation upon which to build your self-worth, constantly vulnerable to the shifting sands of public opinion. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, recognized this inherent weakness. They championed the radical act of turning inward, of becoming your own ultimate arbiter of success. Imagine the sheer liberation of unshackling yourself from the need for external applause. No longer are you a performer on a stage, anxiously awaiting the audience's reaction. Instead, you become a solitary sculptor, meticulously crafting your masterpiece for the sheer joy of creation and the deep satisfaction of your own evolving skill. Your goals shift from chasing fleeting praise to embodying genuine growth, driven by an internal compass rather than the fickle winds of public sentiment. This isn't about ignoring feedback entirely, but about filtering it through the lens of your own well-defined values and aspirations, rather than blindly seeking approval.